Hey guys, I have some raw pork bellies that need to be cured and smoked to become bacon. So I'm going to show you what that process is like. Once you've cut up the pig, this is what you're going to have. This is just a piece of raw meat out of the belly. And you can see the skin was here. This is the inside, boneless. These two pieces of meat are from the head cheeks of the pig. So this, you can see the skin side. This is pretty much filleted off the side of the head. We didn't used to take these bacons, but my brother, who butchered professionally for several years, pointed out a number of different places that we could get more bacon from. Again, it's boneless, of course, just muscle tissue, and more bacon's always a good thing. So I'm not following a specific recipe for this cure, so I'm just using some things that I'm confident are going to be successful. So I have onion powder, garlic powder, some proprietary Southern seasoning of Ashley's, red pepper flakes, black pepper, sea salt, and brown sugar. And then these are actually just harvested out of the garden. These are a sweet pepper, but I want to try them out. Just cut them up and not even take out the seeds. Just mix them right in with the bellies. These are going to brine for a few days. I'm going to put them back in a Ziploc bag and let them brine in the refrigerator for several days before smoking them. So they're going to get rinsed right before smoking. So with these pepper seeds and stuff, that's all going to get washed off anyway. For doing pork bellies, curing bacons prior to smoking, in my experience, you want to add a lot of seasoning, probably more than you think you'll need, because there's a substantial amount of meat, and this is just like a marinade. So we've overdone it on the salt a couple of times in the past, but in general, I find that you're going to need more than you think you might. I'm doing all of this by eye. I'm not following any amounts. What I'm mostly going by is the coverage that I have on the meat. We have a yearly hog butchering event where we come together with 2 or 3 other families and butcher anywhere from, this year we're actually doing 8. Normally we're doing 4 to 6. And for that event, we have a bacon recipe that we stick to, a cure that we stick to, and it's all measured out by the pounds of meat. I'm not doing that, I'm just doing everything by eye. Another part of the cure is going to be brown sugar. So you can overdo it on the brown sugar. Sometimes we've used maple syrup in the past from the farm, but I'm just going to use a small amount, about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. Now that all the seasonings are on, the next thing is to rub it into the meat. And so you really want to push it in with your fingers, trying to really get it deep in there, especially the salt. Now this side's done. I'm going to flip it and lightly coat the other side, not as heavily. Then I'm going to roll it up on this side, put it back in a gallon Ziploc bag. All of this, the salt and the sugar, they're going to draw out the moisture from the bacon. And so in a couple of days, once this has been sitting in the fridge, there's going to be a serum in the bottom. That's fine. That's what you want. It's a brine. It's going to help season things evenly and really let the seasoning penetrate. Okay, bellies are seasoned and in the bags. These 2 are spicy. They both have the peppers in them. This one we did less spicy, hence the label. So now these will go in the fridge, just sit in there in their brine. I'll rotate them a couple of times, just turn the bags like that to keep all the juice. You can already see it's starting to wick out of that bacon there. It's being drawn out by the salt and the sugar, things like that. So I'll rotate it a couple of times to keep things brining evenly. These will sit in the fridge for 5 to 6 days. Then I'll pull them out, rinse them off, hang them on hooks, and smoke them. With a smoking fire, I like to pack it down pretty well and then restrict the airflow because, especially if you're working with dry wood, you really don't want a lot of draft because you want it to smoke a lot. So a good bed of coals I find is the right thing. And then packing down whatever the fuel, some kind of aromatic wood. Here I'm using wild black cherry that grows around here. And it's not going to have a super strong flavor, but it's going to add a little bit of a fruity flavor to the smoke. Now that I've got enough fuel on there, I'm going to restrict the airflow and block the draft so that this really starts to pour some thick smoke. I'm also going to cover the chimney on here. The more that this is restricted, the more it starts to smoke, the better. Once you're done smoking, you have to slice the bacon. I don't have a bacon slicer, but a sharp kitchen knife will work just fine.